Hi, Jenny. How are you doing today?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Good, good. Are you enjoying the weather? It's so nice out today.
Actually, it's really, really nice out. I was just doing an assignment outside.
Oh, nice. I'm sure it's
Mm.
nice to get out there and all that.
Yeah.
So, just before we get going, I just want to go over there's the client acknowledgement form. It just goes over confidentiality and the limitations of that, if that's okay.
Yeah.
All right, perfect. So, just so you know, counseling is free and voluntary. Nobody can make you come do this. And I'm a student, so it is free of charge right now through Durham College. So there's a couple things with confidentiality. A lot of people think that whatever they can say here is lock and key, and for most people and most times that is the case, but there are a couple of exceptions. So the first exception is called, you can sign what's called a release form. So that is just, you can put somebody on a form that could be like a parent, a doctor, you know,
Mhm.
other caretaker, spouse, whoever. And it just means that whoever's on that release form gets to know what's being said. I can share it with them if they ask or if you ask me to, but
Okay.
just the people on that form. And you, of course, don't need to sign one of those if you don't want to. The second one is for a court order. If you ever found yourself in court and they thought that what you said here to me is relevant, they can subpoena these records, but what will be shared is only what they ask. So no more, no less. So it's just bare bones what they ask for.
Okay.
The next is if you're at risk of harming yourself or harming someone else. That's self-explanatory. We want you to be safe. Those
Hmm.
around you, we don't want you hurting yourself. So that would have to be reported. The other one is for child abuse or neglect. So child abuse, that could be sexual, mental, or verbal. And then
Hmm.
neglect, if you're not taking care of a child, that would have to be reported to CAS or the police or whatever governing body is required.
Okay.
And the last one is if you report sexual misconduct from another healthcare professional. So that could be a nurse, a doctor, a therapist, anyone that would have to report to their governing body because obviously they're not doing their job and taking care of you. All right,
Okay.
so do you understand that? Do you need to go over anything?
No, nope, that was very clear.
All
Yep,
right.
I understood everything.
So if you were in person, you would sign this form. We're not in person, so I just will take your head nod as you understand.
Okay.
Okay. So, can you tell me a bit why you're here today?
Um, I've been feeling a little, I guess, overwhelmed with school and
Yeah.
stuff, especially during the pandemic.
Hmm. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. So, are you in college? I'm assuming.
Yeah, so I go to Durham College, and right now I'm in the SSW program.
Oh, okay, that's
So
wonderful.
I know. So I thought I'd reach out because, like I said, I am feeling a little bit overwhelmed with
Mhm.
everything going on right now.
Definitely. So, before the pandemic, do you feel like you were doing better or worse, about the same?
Um, well, school has stayed the same, so my
Okay.
grades are still up and my grades are still high, but I feel like now it's at the end of the semester, so it's crunch time, and it just feels like I'm getting everything thrown at me at once.
Yeah, for sure. So,
So yeah, so like I guess before I was doing a little because I also have two kids, so I'm a single mom, so I have the two babies.
okay.
And before I was able to drop them off at daycare and then go to school and
Yeah.
have that free time between classes to do my assignments and accomplish things.
Okay.
And now it just feels like everything is just kind of bumping heads, I guess. Like it's,
Yeah, for
yeah.
sure. I mean, it's definitely great to hear that your grades have stayed the same. Been
Hmm.
able to keep that steady even throughout this time because I'm sure that's definitely not easy. And that's not
Yeah.
something that, you've been obviously working very hard for that. That's
Hmm.
great.
Hmm. Yeah.
So you feel like you've been struggling a bit. So like, is there anything you're struggling with specifically, or is it just
No, it's more so just the stress of the assignments.
okay?
That's what it is. Like, um, I don't know. Oh, maybe sometimes I'm bad at procrastinating when it comes to something I
Yeah.
really don't want to do. I will put it off. I had a religion, so I took world religions as an
Mhm.
extra course, and I had an essay due, and I just felt like the teacher didn't really like my writing. I think he feels like I'm not opinionated enough
Okay.
about religion, because like I do have opinions, but I'm very accepting.
Yes. Okay.
So it just wasn't a strong enough opinion for him. So then I had to write this essay that was worth 20% of my mark, and I held it. Oh, I just procrastinated. I ended up calling my sister-in-law and
Oh.
saying, yeah, and being like, Katie, you need to come help, because she's a writer, so she actually has books
Oh.
published.
Oh. Wow. Okay. So I'm sure that would
Yeah,
really help.
yeah. I was like, I need your help. She's like, what does it do? In like 8 hours.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I mean, it is nice that you have that support around you that you were able, and luckily enough that she was a writer. That was another tick in the box to help
Yeah,
you with
yeah, she's
that.
pretty talented.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's pretty talented.
So just to make sure I'm on the same page as you, so what I'm hearing is like it's the end of the semester. It's now or never basically for making sure that you're
Hmm.
keeping up with your grades. And you just feel like everything's kind of coming at you so quickly and so much with so little time. And you're just feeling this overwhelmed.
Yeah,
Is that right?
yeah, exactly. Like it comes to a point where you look at the clock and you're like, oh my God, it's 5. Like it's crazy. And then it's 5, and then it's not just like, then I'm having to make dinner for the kids, and
Yeah.
I'm still having to entertain the kids and stuff between it all. So usually what's happening is I'm like outside in the backyard, because we just bought them a pool. So
Oh,
I'm
okay.
like outside in the yeah, in the backyard on my laptop, trying to occupy them, trying to do my work, and I'm just like, oh my God.
Yeah, it's a lot. So, I mean, it's great still, in spite of that, hearing that you have these people in your life that are able to kind of work with you in a way of just,
Hmm.
supporting you in your assignments and all that. And how do you find when you are doing your lessons, do you have time to do them, or is it very much just like 15 minutes here, an hour there?
Yeah. Oh, this online counseling too, eh? You
Yeah.
keep freezing, but it's okay. We will work with this because it's what we have right now during the pandemic. Um, Usually what is happening is I'll sit down for my assignment, and I'll be able to do like, I don't know, an hour or a half an hour or 20 minutes. It just depends if the kids are running around or if they need something on, because my son's father lives in Quebec, and my daughter's father lives in Alberta. So I have my
Okay.
daughter, yeah, I have my daughter 24/7.
Okay.
Um, but my son, he just started this week going to see his dad now for every 2 weeks. So
Okay.
he'll be with his father for 2 weeks, and then he's back with me for 2 weeks. That just started now, and we have like 2 weeks of school.
Yeah, so it's a bit late.
but at least like right now I feel like is this week would probably be my catch up week. Like if
Yeah.
I had a week to catch up on everything, it would probably be this one. I hope. It's still trying to keep time for yourself too.
Yeah. So I was just touching on that. I was going to say, how are you feeling? Like, how is your mindset when you kind of are trying to get on top of all this? Because I mean, it does sound like a lot.
I don't know. There's been like a few times where I've checked in with my virtual placement
Hmm.
advisor, and I've been like, Carlos, like, I want to drop this class. Like, this is too much. Everything is just too much. And he's like, Jenny, you have 2 weeks left. Don't
Yeah.
drop it. So that's really good to have that support. But like, feeling in general, it's like, I'm just ready for this year to be over. Like, I'm
Hmm.
ready for things to start going back to normal.
Hmm.
It's just like, I don't know, life is so different right now. That's the
Yeah,
thing.
it is.
Yeah, I know.
So, what would you like to see happen as a result of coming here and like speaking to me? What would you like to see change almost?
I don't know, maybe get a little more insight on, I guess, like, I don't know, maybe more time management.
More time management?
Yeah, maybe that would be something. But that being said, time management is so hard to accomplish when you have the kids.
Yeah, I
It's it
mean,
Yeah, there's not really a schedule when you have them. But that being said, Bruce is gone this weekend, next week, so that would help out. I don't know, maybe it's just trying to find a way to like organize everything.
mhm. Yeah, I mean, I definitely do see like it's an incredible accomplishment that you've been able to go through a whole year of school, including a pandemic, as a single mom. So it's give yourself a pat on the back for that because that is not something that everyone can do. I mean, people are struggling without kids, so struggling with them is another obstacle. But
Yeah.
yeah, so I mean, I feel like, even though there's only 2 weeks left, time management is something that you can definitely work on. It might help structure your day almost. Do you think that would?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah, I think so.
yeah.
Yeah.
So how, if you don't mind me asking, you said your son's away. Your other, is it a daughter?
Yeah. So my son's 3 and my daughter is 10.
Okay, so she's 10 years old, so she's a bit more, probably like a bit more independent. You can kind of
Yeah.
leave her for a bit. So would you maybe think that a good thing to do would just to have maybe set time when you kind of say like this is the time I'm going to do my work, you can do
Yeah.
this, do that kind of
I think
almost.
yeah, and I think also like maybe doing that class when that class is scheduled that day. Do you know what I
Okay.
mean? Like just
Yeah.
say we have like 8 a.m. today I had virtual field placement. So maybe taking that time from 9 until 12 or 9 until 1 and doing the assignments for that class,
Mhm.
then taking a break, going on to my crisis intervention class that was at 3. After that conversation, maybe doing the assignments following that. But it's hard with that one because it's right around dinner time and it's the kids and
Yeah, and
dinner
it's
and the
that
ice
other,
cream truck
yeah.
comes and then I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, it turns into everything.
Yeah. But
So,
maybe just sticking to the class on that day would probably be more organized than what I'm doing
yeah,
now.
I mean, it sounds like right now you're kind of figuring some things out. You've got some ideas going. So,
Hmm.
if you were to implement doing the classes at the time, do you think that would have like you obviously would have a positive effect because you'd be doing your classes. But
Yeah.
is there any kind of negatives you can kind of see with that, with what's going on? Because like you do have children and things like that.
Yeah. I'm not sure. I think that putting my classes in order like that would stop me from procrastinating. I wouldn't have
Yeah,
a choice but to work on that class that day. So, like my world
true.
religions class, if that's scheduled that day, then I'd have no choice but to work on world religions.
Yeah,
Negatives could be maybe like the fact that sometimes you do have to prioritize. One
yeah,
assignment might be more important than the other.
yeah, for sure. But
So
that's,
it's,
that might be something you'd have to deal with anyways, like if you were in school, right?
yeah, yeah,
So that's something
yeah,
unfortunately you can't really escape. But I mean, personally, what I think is doing classes when they're scheduled might also give you a little bit more of a fresher mindset. You're not worrying about this class and this class and this class because you're just focused on one. Do you think that would be
yeah.
helpful at all, or can you see that working out for you at all, or would you kind of
Yeah,
want to?
definitely. No, I think that's definitely a good idea. Definitely. It's like it's a little easier with Willow just being here now, my 10-year-old, because
Yeah.
I don't really have to break away as much. So instead of breaking away every 15 minutes, I
Yeah.
have to break away like once, maybe every 30 or every hour, depending
Yeah.
on what she's doing.
Yeah. You don't have to have constant supervision on that.
Yeah, so sticking to the classes on the day would probably help a lot.
That sounds
Yeah.
like a good plan. So, is there anything else in your life that can maybe help you stick to this plan? Like, do you have, like, I know you said you're a single mom. Do you
Mhm.
have any other supports kind of in your family? I know you mentioned your sister-in-law that can maybe say, like, during these classes, I need this time. Do you have any support like that?
Um, my mother, she supports me a lot when it comes to the babies and stuff, but at the same time, like she's a grandma. They're not really, and
Yeah.
Bruce is 3, so it's kind of like, my brother was, but unfortunately, he has some medical issues right now with his back. So it's very,
Okay.
very hard for him to move
Yeah.
around quickly. And like I said, Bruce is fast.
Yeah, he's a 3-year-old. He's yeah,
Yeah.
in your
So
own house.
yeah, right now it is like me. My mother helps. My sister-in-law helps when she's not working, but she's a PSW.
Oh,
So
yeah, so there's a
she's
bit more
like,
risk there.
right, big time. And she's like essential, so she's working nonstop right now, like
Yeah,
7 days a week sometimes.
yeah.
So I really don't like to push maybe that's my fault. I don't really like I'll ask for help if I really need it, but
Mhm.
at some points I feel like I'm kind of like pushing my kids off on people, and I don't want to feel that way.
I mean, if I'm sure, even though your mother's a grandmother, I mean, grandmothers love to spend time with their grandkids.
Yeah,
Like, I think she would soak up the time if you need it, especially if you're using it for school. You know what I mean? You're not just
yeah,
off gallivanting. You're probably
yeah,
getting an
yeah,
assignment done because you've only got 2 weeks left.
yeah. I think you're right. I definitely think you're right. That's something we can do too. Ask her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because as much as we like to think people can read our minds, sometimes they can't. So sometimes you just have to hold your hands up and say,
Yeah, and just
take the
speak your
kids.
mind. Oh my goodness. No, that would work. So sticking to classes on the days
Hmm.
and then asking for help if needed. Definitely. You know what though too? My daughter's Nana, so my daughter's dad's mom actually lives in Whitby, and we're really close
Oh,
still.
yeah.
Yeah, so she's been taking Willow because she's a huge pool too.
Oh, perfect. With the
So
weather and everything.
so she's able to kind of take her too if I wanted her to. That is true.
So it sounds like you're not alone in a fishing boat in the middle of the ocean.
No, 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 not at all. Not at all.
No, that's good. So, we've talked about time management, doing assignments or classes when they're meant to be a little more structured and kind of
Mhm.
asking for help a little bit more. And
Yeah.
oh my gosh, you do feel like these goals are attainable, like within the next, even tomorrow, starting tomorrow or within the next couple of days, you can start to implement these things.
Yes, definitely. I could probably start implementing them today.
That's great. That's exactly
Yeah.
what we're wanting to hear.
Yeah, it would relieve some of the stress too.
Yeah, for sure.
Mhm.
Well, I would definitely love to see these implemented, and like maybe when you come back next week, we'll hear some different things. You might have a little more time, and you won't not feel so overwhelmed with everything coming at you, because it
Yes,
is the end of the semester and it's stressful.
it is very stressful. Okay.
All right, well, thank you, Jenny, for speaking to me for the past 20 minutes. And I will see you next week, and we'll talk again and check base and see where we're at.
Thank you so much.
Good luck. Implement those changes.
Okay, well,
Bye.